Okay, we are recording. Hey everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Awkward Watersport Guys podcast. On today's show, we have a special guest all the way across from the world in Croatia, Ivan Otulić, CEO and founder of OtoTrak, which many of you listening probably use. Also, we have a return guest, Kevin Nobis of Bonita Springs Jet Ski and Parasail, joining the show, a OtoTrak user. So we're excited because this is a product that has been used a lot. Telemetrics and boat tracking has been very popular just in the past few years. It's being heavily adopted in our space, and to have a user of the software. And now Kevin uses the software too, so we have actually two people, and having the founder of this amazing product that has helped keep boaters more safe, help reduce liability for boat operations. So this would be a great conversation. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Ivan, and welcome back, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you
Oh, well,
for
thank
inviting.
you. Wait a minute. Me or other Kevin? I'm
Other
confused.
Kevin. No one cares about you. And Kevin O'Neill. So I got two Kevins on the show, right? Podcast Kevin is not feeling well. What is happening?
I'm
Are
fine,
you okay?
man. I'm fine.
You gonna make it through?
It doesn't, for me to rattle my mouth and yak and yak and yak, it doesn't take much.
Actually,
Like
I'm
nothing.
really glad he's feeling sick because
Yeah.
we never
I
know what can
take
come out of his
over.
mouth. Yeah, you take over, and
Yeah,
weird
right now
things
you got to
come out of
worry
your
about
mouth.
what's going to come out of my mouth. All right, vomit. That'd be a good one for the show if I just vomited on
Yeah,
air. That'd be good.
you were in Miami last week, right? Did you catch something
That's
in
what got
Miami?
it. That's what got me, man. Now
Yeah.
that Miami, South Florida funk, man. It's funny. I had two people say it to me. My wife said it to me, and my buddy in Key West was like, "You were in Miami." He's like, "That's what did it to you." Like, you go to Miami. I don't know if they got the same water that they flush their jet skis out with, because they seem to always have problems down there with their jet skis and regulations. So maybe it's the water down there that's messing everything up for Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. Get me
Good.
going. We'll be fine.
Kevin Nobis, how are things in Bonita? I mean, Fort Myers is. I mean, I think last time we had on the show, we talked about hurricanes. Like you were going through that. Is everything pretty much business as usual, or you still kind of dealing with recovery and rebuilding?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of recovery. It was a pretty catastrophic event, but I mean, I'm happy with what we're doing. We're floating, we're doing okay. Fort Myers Beach, we're a little bit south of there, so I think they're definitely a little more recovery than we are, because we kind of drag folks from the southern market down in Naples. But yeah, but things are coming along. I think our peak season, spring break and into summer. So I think next spring we're gonna see a major increase over what we did last year. So things are on the up and up. So thanks for asking.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, that was a rough time.
You guys got. I mean, you didn't get. I don't think you guys got too much fallout, but from that little tropical storm seemed to cause a little bit of flooding up that way too, didn't it?
Beryl?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, Debbie came by as a tropical storm about 100 miles offshore, and because of Ian, we've got so much less protection. It actually flooded all the beaches again.
Oh, man.
Ian took all the sand away, so we got no protection. So any little blip that goes by, it's like a flooding event every time now. Yeah, Fort Myers Beach completely underwater. We had the restaurant where we do our business. Greg and Kevin have both been there. That place was completely underwater. We lost a bunch of trees, had to rebuild everything. It's the new normal.
Yeah. Great. Ivan, what's going on in Croatia? I don't think we've had
Croatia.
someone on the show this far away.
Yeah, we are from Europe, far
Yeah.
away. Still, it's season. Our high season is from July, June, July, and August. So still it's season. It's like high season. We are touristic country with more than 1,000 islands, so there is a lot of jet skis here, and still weather is nice. There is some business, so
Not
Do,
bad.
do any of you
good.
do
Yeah.
any of you guys in OtoTrak, or you guys? How did this come about? Did you guys have did you guys have did you guys have a like were you guys into jet skis yourselves? Did you guys have like tell us a little bit of the story about OtoTrak, how you guys got into it?
Yeah. Uh, it's a funny story. Not so funny, but a long story. But story of OtoTrak. I found the company and my brother. It was 17 years ago. We started with small workshop for the Sea-Doo. We were starting repairing the jet skis, and during reparation, we start to work with rental companies. We repair jet ski for them. So we start thinking, why don't we open the rental company? And then we opened the first rental spots. And in first year there was like disaster, a lot of issues. We 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 get a lot of problems with the customer who don't listen to us, and we just realized we just see the old problems what is on the market, because we was new in the rental business. So we give to the guy the jet ski. They was speeding near the coast. There was dangerous driving. So we was confused to quit the business or to make something safer.
Mhm.
So after first season, there is a lot of complaints from the maritime police, from the people from the beach, and then I was start finding some solution, and I was investigate all winter, and there was nothing on the market. So I decided, why don't we try to do something? And it was 2010. We buy some cheap GPS tracking system, hardware. I find two friends who was making some software things, and we decided to make. Why can we turn off the jet ski with mobile app? So the stories come from that. So the second season of the rental business, we had the system, which was huge improvement for us and for the safety. We could switch off the jet ski from the shore with the mobile phone. So 14 years ago, wow, that was miracle. So miracle. So
It's interesting that people not listening on jet skis is an
yeah, when
international
they
problem, not just
International issue.
isolated to Florida.
when they sit on the jet ski, they don't hurt anything. They already riding. So yeah, it's disaster. So and then the next season we decided to make some our own hardware. So we start the digging and finding the solution. And after two seasons and testing on our location, the rental company from Croatia started coming to us. Oh, we heard that you have some solution. And I say, yes, but it's not for sales, it's for our own rentals. And then they start using it. And I had a personal tragedy with my brother. He passed away on jet ski accident. So then I
Oh,
decided
wow.
to change. Yeah, I decided to change something on the better way. So that was the really and true story about the OtoTrak. So later on, I decided to change some things, and I start to find the right people, and the right solution, and change completely market. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. That's horrible. But I mean, to approach it like that, to figure out a solution, because generally here stateside the government is like when something like that happens, the immediate is to ban everything, get rid of anything.
yeah, and then completely, we had a lot of issues because 10 years ago on our location there was people who was just want to ride the jet ski, and there was young people just want to ride jet ski, so they want to be seen. They were speeding near the coast. There was do the dangerous thing. So behind the beach, there you could not find families and friends who was swimming nearby because it was dangerous. So with the
Yeah.
OtoTrak, we decide to make the geofencing where jet ski cannot speed near the coast. You can create the area, and jet ski cannot speeding near the coast. So, and then later on we put the IDC system. It's intelligent distance control, because we figure out that the most of the accidents is happening between friends and families because they want to have fun, but they don't know how to do it, and they are with lack of experience. They make dangerous things. So, a lot of times happen that father hit daughter on the jet ski, and
Mm-hmm.
so our system is also limiting the speed when they are close to each other, and they can ride too close to each other, and they can make the photo. They can do fun things, and when they split, they will get the full power. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good
so
point. Night.
can
Oh, go
you
ahead, Kevin.
just really quick? Can you just explain that to our listeners a little bit? That system that keeps them from getting too close to each other. So the crash avoidance, right?
it could be because the 99% of all accidents, I think we all can say that it's happening between friends and family. So they want to have fun, they want to spray each other, they want to make the photos, and without experience, and they hit each other. So when two jet ski come close to each other, AutoTrack system is limiting their speed, and they cannot drive full throttle near the jet skis. So when they are too close to 50 meters, or how every customer put their fence, the jet ski is driving slowly. So they can ride, they can enjoy, they can make the photos, but uh, the risk is much less than in normal conditions.
So
Mhm.
so Kev, how many jet skis are you guys operating at any given time for your tours?
You ask me?
No,
Say
Kev.
that
No,
again.
no.
Yeah.
Sorry, you broke up because there's a gnarly storm going on outside my house. Right
Oh,
now.
I got you. So how many skis do you? What's your max ski tour capacity?
Okay. Yeah, 6 machines max plus a guy.
Six machines, and then how do you how far have you set yours apart as far as when that?
Well. So they have a thing called Safari mode. So basically, you have to assign a lead. Jet ski tour guide would be the Safari lead, and then you assign the skis that are on your tour. So basically, that the geofence isn't interfering with, um, you know, with your tour, because you kind of have to turn some of that safety mode off, because otherwise you can't do a tour. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You'd be too close. The machines would be slowing down and speeding up, slowing down and speeding up. So really, for free ride, it's fantastic. But it's also good for tours because there's an option on the app where if you have unruly guests and they're driving dangerously, you can limit these guys, and you can shut them down to 5 miles an hour, or you can shut them off completely. So if your tour
Wow.
guide's having a problem with some unruly people, and you're worried about them killing somebody or hurting themselves or somebody else, you can shut them off.
So, Kevin, I got a couple questions for you. One is, when you first started using AutoTrack and you were, trying to solve for, obviously you had probably some issues with damage and people getting hurt. What drove you to AutoTrack, and just for using telemetrics and things for your business? And second, what are some things that about AutoTrack that have really just stood out for you, and have you seen a difference in your business? I guess the big question, with damages and things like that, if you had to guess, what percentage of incidents are you down since prior to implementing AutoTrack?
I have we equipped every single machine as of last. Well, to answer your first question, probably 3 years ago or something, I think Marino from OtoTrack and a couple other guys approached us at our location, And at the time, I wasn't confident. Didn't think it was going to be something we wanted to use. So I kind of disregarded them. And then I started hearing people using it. And then so what really threw us over the edge was last Memorial Day, 2023, 2 Memorial Days ago, we had a pretty bad accident where somebody completely ran over the top of somebody else. The guy smashed his face, but blah, 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 and was drowned. We saved him. FWC, big deal. So I told my business partner, I said, look, that's it. We got to try this OtoTrak, man. I'm just tired of these maniacs driving these things like nuts. And these people, there's language barriers and blah, blah, blah. So we contacted OtoTrak. They gave us we bought 4 units to try on 4 of our machines. We were tested them out. They told us that we have a 30-day trial. They would have taken them back and refunded our money. But we fell in love with it immediately. I mean, it was just like, oh, wow. I mean, the features and the functionality and the way you run your business. I mean, look, I rented jet skis and ran that booth myself for over 20 years. I go in there and my employees are so spoiled because there's so much peace of mind. You can track everything. When the ski leaves the beach, there's a timer mode. You hit the timer, and it times the ski. And so the warning alarm will go off when their 30 minutes is up or their hour's up. It just takes so much work out of it. You're not missing skis. You're not looking around, freaking out. You're counting, because we got 25 skis, and so the safe distance control option. So they're slowing down when they're getting near each other. I haven't had a single accident when they're in that mode in our geofence. I mean, and the guy that really proved this is Hershey out in Utah. He's got like 300 units or something on these Sea-Doos he's got. He implemented this years ago, and he hasn't had an accident since, from what I've heard. So I mean, it's a no-brainer.
We still unfortunately have fender benders, but you know where they happen? On the tours.
Exactly.
That's where they still happen. On the free ride where OtoTrak is fully implemented. It's like, if I go down there and I see a bang on a jet ski or somebody, what happened? Oh, happened on the tour. Now it's, and to this point, like, even farther reaching than just OtoTrak or safety in general, like, this is where I've been hearing across the market, like, more and more and more, like, people started doing tours to create a more controlled environment because the free rides used to be the problem. And now everything I hear is happening on tours. Oh, they hit a bridge, or like 90% of these accidents are happening on tours. Like, I'm almost to the point to where I'm ready to disband the tours and just go straight back to free ride, because I do have that peace of mind on free ride now, right? Instead of having a tour guide who, I mean, OtoTrak basically removes the human element, which is what, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you guys have taken the human element, the people not listening, as you said earlier, and it keeps them from colliding with one another.
Have you implemented the Safari mode, Kevin?
Yeah, but it unfortunately still doesn't solve for what Nobis was talking about, where when they get too close to each other on the tour, it shuts it down. So now you have it kind of, because a tour is the only way a tour works really well. If you have them 100 yards apart, then they can't see each other. They can't see hand signals. They can't see their guide. And so now they're too far apart to see exactly what the guide is there for. And what OtoTrak ultimately solves for is, like, if you guys are getting too close to each other, it slows down into, I call it guardian mode, just from my Parasail days. Kevin knows that one. And it solves for that. Where I will say where we've had pushback from the industry side on the insurance side is that, and this is only from one agent, but they go, well, what if it goes into Guardian, and what if it slows down, and then they have a boat coming out of them, and they can't get out of the way, which I've in all of my years of doing this.
That's the feedback I've heard too, for why they have not implemented systems like this.
But from a risk, from from a risk mitigation standpoint, I would love to know the data of jet skis that have been in limp mode or not been able to move full throttle and gotten hit by a boat versus how many jet skis have collided together trying to spray each other and get too close to each other. I would bet dollars to know, and it's without doing a study that it's like 1,000 to 1. So at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm going to do with what I see, what's happening in real time. I've never seen a jet ski get hit by an oncoming boat because they couldn't get out of the way because they didn't have full throttle. But 9 out of 9 accidents have been because jet skis are getting too close to each other.
Yes,
100%.
but also you don't need to put the limp home mode like on idle. You can leave the jet ski can ride, and there is maybe 200 or 2000 or 3000 RPMs, so you can steering normally, and you can avoid the boat. So you don't. We
It's
can.
how you set it up.
Yes, it's just settings in the every operation manager can make the settings. So OtoTrak, we are on the market and we are dedicated for more than 10 years and develop our system for every country because every country has something different on and how they are using the system. For example, in Greece, it's allowed to have got only 2 jet ski for on one location. In US, it's maybe 20. So in Croatia, the most of the rental companies have got 5 or 6. In Spain, there is 10. So it's a
So
different
they
way.
limit in these different countries, you can only have so many per operation, like as a law.
It's a law. In Greece, it's a law because there was too many accidents 20 or 30 years ago, and the law say, okay, only 2
Jeez.
jet ski on the location.
Well,
So
maybe
it's
I don't feel so
destroying.
bad about
Mhm.
Destin's laws. Then.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
So
Oh
when
my
we are
God.
designing our system, we can do everything because we are the team, we are dedicated team. So if we know the challenges, we can solve them because our commitment is full. So we can do a lot of things. Also, some things are new, are coming for the Safari mode. Uh, we also have got a lot of challenges, not only on the software side, but the manufacturers, the Yamaha and Sea-Doo, every year they are changing something. So we need to be behind them. So when the new model came, we need to make the new reverse engineering. We have not backup and no help from them. So imagine on for the tour mode in one of the next devices, you will be able maybe from some button on the steering remotely limit the speed from the jet ski, all jet ski. For example, you are riding, something bad is happening. With one button, you can limit all jet ski. There is a hundred of ideas and hundred of things of how we can do, but we need to know your inputs. So together we can make much more safer environment and help to your business as well. So uh, we still haven't got any representative in US, but maybe more than 1,000 jet ski are using our system only in United States. Totally, we are covering more than 6,000 jet ski in the world. We are equipped with OtoTrak, and the
Wow.
number is growing up. We never make any commercial. We just make some direct marketing, direct approach to the client because we really think that it's the best way to have good personal contact and to make slowly progress.
There's 161,000 registered jet skis in the state of Florida alone. So we got some work to do. I couldn't even tell you how many of those are rentals. And I would love to see our insurance get more involved in that. And we've been talking with some insurance companies specifically about OtoTrak, and this idea that you can sort of tailor OtoTrak to your specific situation, because the state of Florida is, wherever you go, has its own set of unique geographic challenges and the ways they do business. So as we know that there's unfortunately no one set of best practices that work for every location. But I think that with what you said about being able to tailor the machines or work with OtoTrak to figure out the best solution on how to use the hardware and the software for that given location, I think is obviously a great answer to when you get some of this pushback. If you don't mind me asking, because I don't even remember what we ended up paying. So what does something like OtoTrak cost? Because this is probably going to be a big question for operators.
Yes, I think in Europe it's 430 euros. It's hardware for the Sea-Doo and 530 euros for the Yamaha. So it's a hardware which is full waterproof with warranty, and it's our own hardware. So that's the cost of the hardware, and then you are paying subscription fee for the each unit. Depends how many time you are using the system. Subscription is something what I don't know exactly. I think it's $300 per year if you are using completely year per machine. And monthly it's about 60, I think. I'm not in the sales, so but figuratively it's nothing compare what could be. For example,
Losing your insurance premiums, damage to your skis. I can tell you that we put it on 15 units, and I think we've had one, and that was 2 years ago, and I think we've had one issue with one of the hardware once, and I think it was taken care of immediately. And so I mean, I know for our money, from skis being down to being damaged to, and ultimately that's just, I mean, that's secondary to this whole thing, right? Like ultimately it comes down to, we know that every time there's a collision with a jet ski, that was 2 inches away from somebody being hurt. And
yeah,
and even just aside from insurance costs and everything else, like it's the last thing any of us want to see or get that phone call is that somebody got hurt. So that I think is worth, I mean,
yeah,
I think it's a
yeah.
bargain.
It's funny in Europe and in Croatia, the most of the rentals are short rentals, so 10 minutes, 15, and 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So before AutoTrack, you give people to watch and say, okay, come after 10 minutes. Nobody comes after 10. Everybody's late 10 minutes because you don't know what is 10 minutes. So only with AutoTrack, you put 10 minutes, 2 minutes before, or how you create your settings. It's calling you with some warning, come back. So only on overtime, you can save a lot of money. So imagine if you can rent one jet ski 5 times per hour for 10 minutes, or you rent 2 times per hour because 10 minutes, everybody are uh, they are delaying their comeback. So they come after 15, then you need to argue with him, and then it's bad experience for everybody. Then you put another people, and you don't turn around 1 hour, go away, and you rent jet ski 2 times per 10 or 15 minutes. With
Yeah,
AutoTrack, you are
it
going
works
just
better for resource management. I do like that, and getting people to come back when they should. I mean, when you're out there having fun, even though there is like some skis, they put a watch on there, they put a time. You're not grabbing your phone and looking at it, so it's really nice and gets people back on time. So you have like, and peak summer operators have really tight turnarounds. So that's great. Ivan, have you worked with any insurance companies about rebates or credits? Because I'm shocked that the insurance industry has not gotten more involved in pushing their operators to use telemetrics to improve safety. I mean, this is a question for Ivan and Kevin Nobis. And Kevin, you probably have some input too. Like, why are insurance companies getting behind these products? Like, why aren't they getting behind digital boaters test and digital waivers and all these things that will make things more safe and reduce the liability for operators?
Yeah, I mean, I could speak on that briefly.
Yeah.
We fully disclose to our insurance company that we use OtoTrak. My agent is all for it. He's under the impression that, within 5 years, once they start getting some of this data, that they're going to mandate this thing, especially for a free ride. Because, I mean, they get the data from Brian Hershey out in Utah because he's been using it for so long with so many units. Like, a guy like me, they get that data. And, it's just the proof's in the pudding there. I mean, it works, I mean, yeah, you get, and people, I thought I was going to get a lot of complaints because, it slows down when people get close to each other. But I'm just like, well, don't break the rules and it won't go slow. Can't get near each other. So I hope we get a discount on insurance. I mean, for using this thing, I push every year. I'm like, look, we are going above and beyond to stay safe here. And, when are we going to get a credit for this kind of thing? But it's just not widely adopted enough. There's not enough info out there.
Yeah, in Europe, the government is changing the rules. So, for example, in Croatia, it's mandatory to have got, if you're renting the jet ski, to have got a GPS system that you can control. Also, last year we opened the office in Dubai because in Emirates they also put in the law that the system like this is mandatory, and that's because it's helping people. So some things are
okay,
coming.
so it's already.
You guys need some mandatory boat tests, I feel like, over there too, man. We'll talk about that after the show. I'll be the first one over in Croatia. I don't even know what country I'm going to. I don't know what continent I'm going to end up at. I might end up in Africa. I'll be like, this isn't where Croatia is? I didn't study geography.
It's far away.
I did. Yeah. I will tell you, man, it's like we're here, obviously, the States were probably, I would imagine, we have a little bit less bureaucracy, but man, when they do decide to get involved, they know how to get it completely wrong. Like we do have things on the books for safety, but not one of them actually pertain to safety. Like that's a whole nother episode that we've done about 100 times. But I've said the same thing, and unfortunately, here it's about the right people having the right conversations and the more connected people. So I've had the conversation. I don't get me wrong, Kev. I definitely want to see a reduction in cost, but it's like I don't even care about at this point. I don't care about the cost at this moment. Don't give me a rebate, but get something into place here to reduce accidents so my premiums don't even come up. Like, let's be proactive here. You don't want to give me $1 off because I'm trying to commit to best practices. Put it in your notes, man. Mandate it so that we just have less accidents. How about that? So my insurance doesn't even go up. Let's proactively do something here for safety, not retroactively when I'm paying $10,000 a ski. Go, well, now you have to have OtoTrak, or now you have to have geofencing. Like, you know what I mean? And trust me, it's Kev, you know me long enough. We've been banging down the doors forever. And just to this point, this is why every location that we go to or operator that we talk to, this is why I bang the drum so hard for OtoTrak, because, okay, let's not mandate it, but as an industry, let's implement it. But you know how it goes when everybody and their brother is like, well, we want 20% for insurance, and your landlord wants 20%. It's like, it really comes down to these margins where these guys are like, well, I'm not throwing any more money at jet skis because I'm not making enough money as it is. And it's a vicious circle. Like, you're right. Eventually the premiums have to come down. So, so we can afford to put things like OtoTrak so we don't lose the industry.
Because every year much and more jet ski, more and more operators, more and more accidents. So it's not good for business and not good for anybody.
And Kev, you're a distributor, right?
No, I mean, I'm set up to get referrals. If like, there's guys in my area I've turned it on to, and I had them come by my place and say, hey, you really ought to get on board with this thing. It really works. And so the guys in Fort Myers Beach, Marco Island, in my general vicinity, I've reached out and gave a couple demos too. And, and then I just go basically reach out to Marino from OtoTrak, and he helps set them up and gets them going. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, I just try to spread the word like you're talking about. So.
Yeah, you guys need some stateside distribution, man. Like a guy with apparently named Kevin, one way or another, that's got an OtoTrak.
A guy with a podcast and a boater's education test. That there's I know a couple of those.
Another guy named Kevin, a different guy named Kevin. I don't know. Kidding me? Yeah, but yeah, that's I feel like that's probably. Have you guys looked into that? Do you guys have stateside representation that
Yeah, we are thinking on that way. So in upcoming months or years, we are thinking to get more involved.
We'll talk at the port. We'll talk at the port. I always need to take a new project on.
Every year he needs something new every year. So
me and Kevin will flip a coin for it. I'll bring the coin.
Yeah, you got enough coins. You got enough coins.
So we are at end of time and Bitcoin. Yeah, no, let's not talk about crypto. So we're at the end of time, and Ivan and Kevin, we really appreciate you coming on the show and learning more about OtoTrak and your story. And this conversation is going to continue on our Facebook groups. You have questions about OtoTrak, and then they're going to be at the port. They're one of our sponsors, so they'll have a booth with hopefully some equipment set up that you can demo. And they'll also have a roundtable, so you'll be able to meet the OtoTrak team at the port, October 21st or 22nd. Get your tickets because we are. I don't even know if we have very many left, but watersportpodcast.com. We'd love to see you there. Ivan, do you want any last words or thoughts, and how can people reach you or OtoTrak for a demo or some product info?
Yes, we have the social media, the Instagram page, and we have the web page, OtoTrak.com. So they just need to put the form, and somebody from our sales department will contact them, and they'll arrange some demo, and we can start to cooperate and working. I would like to give special thanks to our customers, and firstly to my team. Because without them, I'm nowhere. So my team and we are 100% dedicated to improve the safety of the industry, and we'll keep up and do.
We love what you're doing, Ivan. We're thankful to you, man. Our team loves it, and we'll continue to spread the word every chance we get, and we'll talk some more at the port about some stateside representation for you. I need to take on something new. It sounds like.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
As always,
thank
guys.
you so much.
Keep it awkward.
Thank you. Bye.